All right, hello and welcome everyone. We have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Islam. She has been a client of mine for this past, I don't know, maybe 10 months since the beginning of 2024. And today she's going to share with us a little bit about her journey. So thank you, Islam, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this. I'm like, there's so many times I want to text you and tell you about the things that have been happening, and I'm like, I just don't want to bombard her with this. So it feels good to get on a call and yeah, just like talk about it a little bit.
I love that. And I love receiving texts from you, just so you know. It makes my day. So let's start with if you could describe where you were before you started working with me.
Okay. So I had first taken your class, which was at the end of 2023 into the beginning of the new year. And,
The
and
Manifestation Masterclass.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one. I was like, I forgot what it was. I just remember that it was masterclass in it. But completely different headspace as to where I am now. I was in my master's program. I had been doing my internship for a couple of months now and kind of just like juggling everything between like school and my internship and just trying to be a human being and being a daughter and a sister and a cat mom and then just being me at the same time. And my mom was actually the one who had found your master class and she took it and she's like, I signed up, like, I think you should sign up for this. And I was like, okay. So, because at that time I was also listening to your podcast and I was like peeping things on your website and I'm like, okay, like, I like her energy. I feel like this is fun. She just seems like so light, so uplifting. And I'm like, I feel like I need that in my life right now. So we were like so excited to get started. And I would say probably during that time, a lot less awareness as to kind of like how I play a role in the things that go on into my life. And I think at that time I was more focused on trying to change things from the outside so that way I could change what I was feeling inside. Um, at that time, I had just gone through a breakup as well. So it just felt like one thing after the other too. But I didn't know that, the universe and God was just like literally putting things into place for me and that everything happens the way it should. So during the master class, you had talked about doing, I think like kind of like a vision board, which is normally what I normally do. But something that I did different, you could say, was I got like these heart glitters and I put glue all over my vision board and I put the glitter all over. So like in certain kinds of the light, you could see the heart. And because you said to do everything from a place of love, and I kind of just wanted that reminder that I have all of these goals, all of these wishes, but that at the end of the day, yes, they're goals and wishes, but it's all coming from a place of love and that's kind of like the goal at the end of the day. Um, so your master class really kind of helped also reprogram my mind into um, just kind of like creating even just the awareness about what my thoughts are, what my experiencing experiences are, and what do I really want out of life? Because I feel like sometimes you just set goals and set expectations, but you don't really sit to think about like what are you trying to experience, what are you trying to feel. So I feel like that kind of like set the foundation of getting comfortable with asking myself, what is it that I want from from life and just from any experience that I'm working on. And I have my vision board next to my bed, and I love like sometimes I'll randomly glance at it and I'll see like a quote, and I'm like, wow, I needed to see that right now. Or I'll see some things and I'm like, oh my God, I did that. I did that on my vision board. I didn't even realize it, but I did.
Mhm.
um, and I'm trying to think what else from that class. Oh, another thing that you said, and this was like kind of like a synchronicity, you could say, because I knew that this was aligned, um, is like getting comfortable with asking yourself, what do I need right now and how can I love you more? And literally last year around this time, I had written a blog about when you're like, sorry, I want to put that on do not disturb. I had written a blog about like self-care and asking yourself, what do I need right now? So when I took your master class like 2 months later and you had said that, I was like, wow, like this was like my confirmation that I was supposed to be into this class and that I'm just supposed to be exactly where I am right now.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it's been so cool to watch you really like, for lack of a better term, like taking the lessons by the balls. Like you fully immersed yourself in everything and it's paid off. Like just celebration after celebration in our group chat and messages to me. And I'm sure there's so many more beyond what I've even seen. Um, so first, I just really want to celebrate you for like really leaning into the practices. And, you know, when we set up this conversation, you sent me a text and it was this beautiful text that I want to share with everyone. It was a text saying something like, something along the lines of, I want to let you know that I'm canceling my membership because I feel like I've received all of your wisdom and I've embodied it. And thank you so much for all of this. And, you know, it was worded more beautifully and eloquently than what I just shared. But I'm saying this because I think that's such a celebration for you to really like milk the lessons and to apply it and to feel such a transformation that you're like, I'm good. I'm ready to go out on my own and do my own thing and see where life takes me. Like, that is my goal. That is my intention. And it's been so fun to watch you move through that. So, do you have any specific stories or manifestations that you want to share?
Oh my God, I'm like, I was like literally thinking about it before I got on the call. I'm like, what do I share? Like, where do I start? But
Which
sometimes
one?
I feel like there's certain things that I can pinpoint, and then some things I'm like, man, it's just like the way that I feel. Like I feel even
Mm,
like my energy, like I just feel more aligned. I feel more connected to my intuition. I feel like understanding just like energies and understanding like how I can shift my reality, how I can quantum leap. And even like there's some I've took so many things from the courses that you've given that like even when I'm talking to other people, like people like my friends and my family that know about you, I'm like, yeah, Alicia said this or Alicia said that, like as if you're in the group chat with us, you know? But let me think. I would say what's something that's coming on the top of my head is that now like I'm selling art, which I never in a million years thought I would even do that because I would paint before, but I would do it just for fun.
mm,
And it's funny because I have a picture of someone painting on my vision board, but I only had it there because I wanted to give myself the space to paint more, but I never thought that I would be selling my art. And you had done a meditation was uh, that was focused around like abundance and your career. And before I did the meditation, I had like set the intention that I was gonna like manifest things about like my henna business and seeing it thrive. And then once I like really got, oh wow, it's 111. Once I got like really in tuned and connected in the meditation, I just saw myself painting like on a wall, like for a cafe or for like a business or whatever. And as soon as I was done with the meditation, I just had this like crazy amount of energy. Like it was like 7 p.m. Normally you're like done for the day or at least unwinding. And I like ran to Michael's and I got the biggest canvas that I could that I could buy. And I started drawing the painting. But it's crazy how things are kind of like meant to happen in the way that it did. Even though I had started the painting, then I took a break from it because I was too in my mind about how I wanted it to look instead of letting myself flow and just have fun and like enjoy it.
mm.
So I had went on vacation. I was gone for a month, came back a completely different person. I did your flow course while I was there. And that is like a whole nother story too, because like the synchronicities, the manifestations, the quantum leaping with the things that you said in that course, I'm like, I have examples with that one too. But when I came back, I finished the painting within a couple of days. And it's right there. Like it's freaking huge. Everyone was like, how did you do it? In like a couple of days. But something just like, I don't know, just like unlocked within me. And I stopped focusing. I stopped creating from here and I started creating from here. And when that flow came, I would even notice like I would finish paintings like really, really fast. And everyone's like, how are you doing it so fast? Like you're just running through them. But now like I'm selling art. I have 5 family members who want to buy a canvas from me. I'm gonna like set up an Etsy account. I'm gonna do like Instagram. I'm like doing a whole, but there's like all of these goals and wishes that I have that I'm like trying to work on everything. But that's one thing that is like I would say the highlight of this moment, especially because I had graduated in May and everyone's like, when are you going to start working? You don't have time. You need to get your license. And I'm like, I have time. And I'm like, I'm okay. And even when people tell me that, I like take into what something that you said where you're like, how can I look at this from loving eyes? I think you said that in your flow course, where you said, how can I look at a person or experience from loving eyes? And normally when someone would tell me that I don't have time, it would kind of like trigger me or scare me. But instead, when people tell me that, I kind of like send them love and I'm like, they're just speaking from their own experiences and their limiting beliefs. And sometimes I'll tell them, I'm like, society puts this timeline on us, but we have so much time. I'm like, I'm gonna work. Like the work is gonna come regardless. I don't need to rush into it. Like right now, my main focus is creating peace into my life. And if that means like taking a break from, work and from the whole process of like getting into that and finding other things to do, then I'm gonna do that because that's all we want in life. I feel like even when you look for goals and wishes, I feel like the foundation is peace, is love. So if I'm creating that in my life, then it's gonna come. It's gonna come around eventually. So I'm like, I'm not worried. And it even feels so good to say that. I'm like, wow, I really am. I'm not worried.
That's so cool. I interviewed Laura yesterday, and she said one of the biggest lessons she learned is that peace is the goal. She was like, we always think it's the money or the relationship, but it's peace. And I feel like you just second that. And then this morning, I received a celebration from Deanna, and she was like, I got this $2,000 bill that was unexpected. And the old version of me would have freaked out, but I just started crying happy tears because I'm so grateful and I know the money is going to show up.
Yeah.
And she was like, I felt this deep peace. And then it showed up 9 days later, like, which was the
I
date
just
it
got
was due
goosebumps.
in 10 days. Yeah. So I'm just like really, I do these interviews to inspire people, to celebrate you, but also to do like research around what are my clients receiving from what I teach. So it's really cool to hear that that inner peace is a part of what you and others are experiencing because it's like the best feeling ever, right?
It really is, honestly. Like, even just like, I just feel it in every way. Like, I tell my friend, I'm like, I feel like I should be worried, but I'm not. And then I'm like, is there something wrong? And then I have to remind myself, like, no, like, that's like your old conditioning where you think you should be worried because that's what you've done in the past. But now you're in a different space and you don't have to worry. And I'm just like, oh, it just feels like such a breath of fresh air to just let all of that go and have like that full trust, that full surrender that everything is going to be okay and that everything really is exactly the way it should be. And I feel like
Mm.
that's also something that your practices have taught me is that to just like trust and let go. And that's another lesson was that I noticed what that I was always like in my masculine energy of like doing that I never gave myself like the space to rest to I think it was like the lean back class, like leaning I think it was something like that, like leaning
Manifest
back.
money and leaned back energy.
Yes. Yes. And when
Yeah.
I was doing, I would see it. Like I came back from my trip and everyone's like, "Oh, we're like, what are you gonna do for work? What are you?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like today I'm gonna journal and paint and I don't know what's gonna happen. And then like 2 days later, I had a family member text me like, "Hey, it's my daughter's birthday. I want you to come do henna. And of course I'm gonna pay you." And then a couple of weeks later, I did an event. And then another couple of weeks later, and I did another event. And not even just that, I've been getting job opportunities left and right where it's literally like I just have to choose what I want. And I'm like, I have all of these opportunities here for me. And once I'm ready, I get to make the decision. Or maybe I won't have to make the decision. Maybe the decision will be given to me and made for me, you know? But it just feels so good to just like breathe, take a step back and know that like I don't have to worry. Everything is exactly the way it should be. And it doesn't mean that life is perfect, but it means that you have that trust and faith that you don't have to worry, you don't have to obsess, you don't have to do anything so crazy, that you can just let things happen to you and just enjoy life and just, be at peace and just feel so good.
I feel it's so embodied in you. Like I told you when before we started recording that you're glowing and like you really are. It's this radiant light from within that is shining through your whole being. And I see it as like when I asked you, where were you before the beginning of the year? You said like something along the lines of like overthinking, like stress. I can't remember the exact words you said, but there was a lot of energy up here. And I've noticed that you've like unblocked that and you've dropped into your body, into your heart, into your belly, into allowing God, universe, light to flow through you. And through that, you're being guided. Like someone said, "What are you going to do today?" You said, I don't know, I'm going to paint." And now, however many weeks or months later, you're selling your paint, your paintings. Like it is just so beautiful and such an example of how I believe we're designed to live.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just feels so good to like even embody that. And then, it's like it also creates a ripple effect around you because people are like, what did you do? Like what did you do different? And I have had people tell me, like, what is this glow? Like, what did turkey give you? And I'm like, oh, what's in turkey? Like, I've been working on myself for a long time, but it's just peace, like peace of mind, and just like finding ways to incorporate that peace in my day. And I always find myself asking myself throughout my day, like, what would my highest self be doing right now? That's something else. Sorry, the lessons are just like popping in every once in a while. And then also asking myself, like, what do I need right now? Like my list says this, but what does my body say? And knowing that like when I take care of my body, I can take care of my list and I could show up in other places. Sorry, I know I just said the lessons are flowing in, but another one was about asking like what would your highest self do right now, and also with that using that and connected to spending. And I've had problems in the past with my spending.
Who
Being an
hasn't? Let's be
I know,
real.
right? I'm like being overspender and like my credit cards. And something that someone had asked in the last master class, I think it was Quantum Leap in Abundance,
Mhm.
was like how can I embody my highest self and at the same time tell myself no, like I can't buy this. And you had said, well, your highest self would be making like smarter financial choices. Your higher self, just because you have the money doesn't mean you're going to go and overspend. Your higher self knows how to manage money. And that has been such a game changer for me, because in the past I would think, oh, I'm embodying my highest self and I'm gonna make this charge that I really shouldn't, because that's what my highest self would do. My highest self has this amount. But no, the reality is my highest self is more aligned and making sure that she's not making decisions that's going to keep me in a cycle and reinforce it. So I've been doing that, and I also took your advice in um, like having like a budget planner. Oh my God, that has been such a game changer. Before I would be so scared about how much money I'm spending, and then after I did it, I was like, oh, I'm doing less than what I thought. Like I had all of these anxieties and worries. Like I'm like, I didn't even know how much my bills were. Like that's crazy. Like, like I was so afraid to even know that I just wouldn't, I would just avoid it. So that has brought me so much peace. It has allowed me to make better decisions and just like become more and more aligned with who I want to be, and be aligned with my higher self because she is me.
She's an abundant queen. So, for anyone listening who's like, wow, okay, I want what Islam is saying. Like, I want that peace, that abundance, that excitement for life, that flow in money, in life, and in joy and peace. What was like your process? Meaning, would you like learn a lesson and apply it for a set amount of time? Or would you go through certain courses? Like, what was your process? What did that look like? Because I think some people, I'll just say a little bit more, is like, I think some people think, okay, I hear that gratitude is a practice that will work, and they try it once and nothing changes, and then they kind of give up. It takes consistency and discipline and devotion. So I'm curious what that looked like for you.
I would definitely agree with what you said that it does take consistency and devotion, and that also like finding what niche kind of works for you.
Mm.
Like you also mentioned doing the morning magic, and I would implement that in my day, but some days I wasn't consistent because I'm like, oh, I already wake up at I think it was like 5:30 for my internship, and I have to drive an hour and then it's an hour back. I'm like, I didn't have time for my morning manifestation. And then I would see how that habit brought me so much peace, so much clarity. I would wake up at 4:50 just so that way I could sit, do my morning manifestation. I would do sorry, not my morning magic. I would do the journal. I would have my breakfast. I would get ready. And that's another thing. I wasn't rushing. Like I gave myself time. And then I would drive an hour to my internship. I would get there 30 minutes earlier so I could do my affirmations before. And then boom, I would be ready for like to start my day. And then on my way, because I was waking up so early, I would watch the sunrise. And before, like the old me would be like, oh, I have to wake up early. I have to get stuck in traffic. Like I just like all of these things that are just like negative, negative, negative. Where instead, because I was doing that practice, I was able to see everything from loving eyes and just like practice gratitude as like, wow, I got to see the sun rise this morning. Like I woke up and I heard birds chirping, or I did my meditation. And that's why I say like also finding something that works for you. Um, some people don't like meditation, and you can't sit there and force yourself to do it for 10 minutes, but like find a healthy activity that does work for you. And but at the same time, give yourself the space to kind of try something new. You know, you do
Mhm.
have to be consistent to like really see it. Even like with meditation, at first, you're not going to be able to do 5 minutes. Like that's crazy. Start with one, and then little by little, start with three, then four, then five, and pick yourself up, and know that like it's just kind of like taking a vitamin. You don't see the result the first day you take the vitamin, but after a while, you're like, oh, that biotin is working. My hair is getting longer, or my nails are getting stronger, and just kind of like give yourself the space to do that, and give yourself some compassion, I would say, because it is like work, to put in this effort. But like I say, it's work to keep yourself in the same habit, and it's also work to change your life. It just
Mhm.
depends, like, what kind of work you're willing to put in, and that anything that you put in for yourself, you're going to see the investment. It's always going to be worth it. And then before you know, you're gonna be like, oh, I have to do my morning magic. I have to do my affirmations, my meditation. So yeah, I would say that, like, find something that works for you, but also be open to like trying something that you've never tried before, especially if there's like so much research about how this stuff helps you, how it helps you reprogram your mind and find ease and find peace. So
Mm.
I guess that's
Yes.
my
And I love how you tried something, the morning magic routine, for example, and you noticed evidence that it brought more peace and joy and flow to your day. And that evidence made it easier to develop the habit. It was almost like, I feel so good when I do it that I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it work. And I teach this anytime I'm teaching habit building, because when we want to change a behavior in the beginning, it feels like work, but eventually we receive the payoff where it feels so good, like exercise. When I first started exercising, I was like, oh, I don't want to exercise. But then I feel so good after that. It's like, of course, I'm going to move my body. It feels so good. And it's the same with these inner practices as well. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm curious to hear more about your experiences with the flow course because I haven't heard any of this yet. Can you
Oh
share
my
more
God.
there?
Okay. So, one thing that really I felt like just changed me and like overall, you were talking about how you I don't know if it was at the time or you were talking about it in the flow course, but you were talking about this relationship that you had and how you went with a break, you broke up with him and you guys felt so connected, and how because you felt so connected, you felt like you had to like grieve it a little bit longer, like like you couldn't like I don't want to say heal faster, but like you couldn't like process it a little bit faster. Like you felt like you kind of had to like sulk in a little bit because you cared about this person so much. And then you said you realized that you didn't have to do that, that you can give yourself the space to honor it, honor the experiences you have, grieve it, and realize that it's time for something else. It's time for something new. Um, and that when you did that, you quantum leaped your healing.
Mm.
And when you were saying that, you literally could have been like describing me, because I was still like sulking over that guy from December, and me and him were like texting on and off, so it also didn't help the part of me like grieving and letting go. So when you said that, it resonated to the core. I was like, she could easily be talking about me right now, like everything that you had said. And I was like, what if I could quantum leap my healing? Like, what if I could do that, you know? And I did. Like I felt it and I saw, and I was no longer like angry about letting it go or angry at him. Like it was just like more like, yes, sending him love and like wishing him well. It's like, but I wish you well from over here. Like it doesn't mean that it has to like go back to the way it was or go back to anything. And in doing that, like I saw it and affect me in the way like I view men, or I view relationships. And I even like had the courage to kind of like put myself out there, which I never do. But like I approached a guy I had saw at like my hotel, and he like respectfully declined. And normally I would again sulk and be like, oh, why did he no? Why did he say no? But I was like so grateful for the experience and so proud of myself for putting myself out there, that I literally quantum leaped my healing. And then within like 30 minutes, another guy had approached me, and then he like followed me, and then he unfollowed me, and I was like, the next day he had unfollowed me, and I was like, okay, whatever, like me, I guess the universe just has something better for me, or something more aligned with my energy. And then literally I went through my DMs and saw that this other guy had messaged me. And that's what I'm telling you, like all like within less than 24 hours. And I had responded to him, and then we went on a date, and the universe was definitely doing its magic, you know? Like I felt so aligned. I felt like I was like, wow. And my friend was like, she was like, girl, you literally were the definition of something better is out there. And I'm like, and I knew it was true, because normally I would have sulked and I would have had all my limiting beliefs tell me that like it's something wrong with me, or like what's going on, and just like put me in this low vibration, instead of where I was at then, where I was like grateful. And I knew that it didn't work out because we're not aligned. We're not meant to work out. And for a reason, like I'm still talking to the guy. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm like not holding so much expectation. I'm like letting things flow. But it's so crazy. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's like this embodied confidence of like, if it's not you, it's something better. I'm good. Oh my gosh, there's so many codes to take from there. Wow. Wow, I completely forgot about that story. That's really cool to hear you bring up. That was a wild, wild time where I was like, in the past, I would just spend months, even years grieving someone when I was like, I think my mind is creating this. Like my mind is creating the
Mhm.
attachment. So what if I were to just like collapse the amount of time and just see this experience with so much love, so many lessons, send him love. And it was just this wild experience of I'm good. Like on to the
Mhm.
next. If I feel like dating, if I feel like opening myself. So I'm so glad that was so supportive to you.
That's crazy that you even said that because that's literally what my friend said. She was like, on to the next, until I went on a date with that guy. And it wasn't like I was out there looking. I was like, if something happens, whatever, but I'm here having fun. Like I'm here, flowing, I should say. And just like I would also say like opening yourself to like experiences and really like not letting those limiting beliefs take over. I feel like your flow course was like it just like aligned with me so much where now like I feel like I'm in flow like every single day I'm like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And when I have people around me like freaking out and worrying, I'm like calm down. Like it's gonna be okay. And now my brother calls me Miss Positive. I'm like, I know he's teasing me, but I will take that 100%, But I'm like, everything really is gonna be okay. It doesn't mean it's gonna be where you think it's gonna be or what it's going to be. But sometimes it's better, if you like give yourself the space to think that.
Yes. So good. I'm so glad. Is there anything else you want to share?
I'm gonna get off the call and be like, oh, I wish I said that. I'm trying to remember, but I was like, just like so much, honestly. I feel like so much has like changed that I'm like, it doesn't even feel like we've only been working together for 10 months because I feel like I'm such a completely different person from where I was in December. And at the same time, I'm still me. Like but I feel more me. I feel more aligned with who I am. And yeah. I just feel like I'm like, what else could I say? Just like it just feels so good to just like be at peace, and
Mhm.
just know that like everything is happening for a reason. Everything is happening for me. And to just literally flow, like let things go the way it should, and everything has a way of working itself out.
Mm. Amazing. I am just beaming. I'm so proud of you, really. Like, I'm really, really proud of you, and I'm celebrating you because I know it hasn't always been easy. And you lean in and you go within. And yeah, I just see you just said, I'm still me, but I feel like I'm more me. Yeah, what I'm seeing is like layers of maybe emotion, limiting beliefs, limits, uh, habits have like shed. And now you're very connected to the divine, the universe, God, source, whatever term you like to use. Like it's pouring through you and it's guiding you through life. And it's so cool to hear that it's also affecting your family and your friends. Yeah, you're such a light, and it's been such an honor to support you. So thank you for coming on today and sharing some of this with me and with everyone else.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that we've done together. I mean, literally have changed has changed my life. It feels so good to kind of like have this support and let it let myself take it in and then let it help other people around me because at the end of the day it's like what are we here on earth to do but like create love and create peace. And what does it matter if you're creating it for yourself if you can't share it with others? So I feel so
Mm,
grateful to be here. I feel so grateful to have met you and to have grown with you and connected with you and just like absorb everything that you have given me. I just feel so grateful.
aw, I'm so grateful. I want to give you a big hug, air
I know,
hug.
like a big virtual hug.
Yeah. Aw, thank you again. We will talk soon. I love you so much. And yeah, for anyone listening, I guess, is there anything you want to share? Like anything you're selling or offering, or if anyone wants to connect with you?
um I haven't done the Instagram yet. I'm
Okay.
like telling people to connect with me on Instagram, Henna by Islam.
Okay.
That's my main account right now. I did reactivate my Instagram, but I'm going to deactivate my personal Instagram because I'm like, I just want it to be business. I'm having fun, like kind of like being disconnected and being in my own world.
Love it.
So for now, that's the only account, but I'll also post on that more if anybody was interested in like canvases, or even just like reaching out and like having questions about anything.
I love it. Okay, I'll put that in the show notes. Thanks again. I love you so
Thank
much.
you. Love you.
And I'll talk to you soon. Okay,
Bye.
bye.